I mean, look, let's be honest. I don't think you were fired after all those years because of your skin colour or because you're a black woman. I think you were fired because your show just got increasingly unpopular. It happens all the time in TV. That's why you got let go. Why play the race card?
Joy Reid, probably the nastiest figure on MSNBC. The most left, the most vicious against conservatives and white people and men and all the rest. She has just been canned, fired, kicked to the side of the road. Her show is over.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. So we're going to watch this absolutely hilarious and entertaining interview between Piers Morgan, Joy Reid, and also Michael Knowles. But Piers Morgan is going to bring on Joy Reid to confront her, basically, for getting fired because she's a racist. She's a race baiter, and everything that she talks about is centered around race. That's the only political analysis that she has about any issue is race. That's it. That's all she knows. And so Piers Morgan is going to bring her on his show to confront her about it. And it's absolutely hilarious because Michael Knowles is going to join in on it as well. And it's pure gold. But let's not waste any time getting to this video. But before we do, guys, hit the like button down below. And of course, if you're brand new, you enjoyed the video, consider hitting subscribe. Let's get into it.
Let's move on to, I want to just play a clip of when you lost your job at MSNBC. Let's watch this.
My show had value, and that, I'm sorry, that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And you know, I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Now, look, you're perfectly entitled to be proud of your show. Many people...
That was one of the greatest things I've ever witnessed, was watching her cry when she lost her job. Absolutely glorious.
Enjoyed your show for many years. You know, a lot of people at NBC were briefing that the reason was declining ratings post the election, a 47% decrease in your election, in ratings from pre-election. But you told Mark Lamont Hill on his show this.
After I said on my show that the reason Americans could relate to Ukrainians in a way that they didn't relate to Palestinians, that Ukrainians are white. And so watching white people get their schools bombed was, you know, hit different.
How racist is that shirt, though? The future is black and feminist. I didn't even notice that when I originally saw this. This is insane. Imagine the uproar, right? I mean, I don't care that he has it on, honestly. I'm just kind of using what they would say, right? Because they would say this would be racist if a white person had a shirt that said the future is white and feminist. That would be insane, right? He would be labeled a white supremacist, right? Hilarious. The double standards.
I mean, it definitely, we could see the loss of white viewers from that moment that I said that. Right. So they were like, we don't like the name calling. And also I'm a black woman. So, I mean, I'm sure it makes him angrier, you know, when I say things. Maybe because I am a global South person myself.
Go back. I want to read that comment that person left.
Makes him angrier.
Joy actively blocked black voices like Brianne Joy Gray from her show in the network because they refused to shuck and jive for Democrats. She needs to take some responsibility. This is a live comment during the interview with Mark Lamont. This is hilarious.
You know, when I say things. Maybe because I am a global South person myself, you know, I mean, as a black person, we have a different empathy toward other global South people when they are suffering. And so we're going to come at that story from a different angle and in a different way and with different kinds of empathies. And I think that's not always received very well in the news business.
No, Joy, I mean, look, let's be honest. I don't think you were fired after all those years because of your skin colour or because you're a black woman. I think you were fired because your show just got increasingly unpopular. It happens all the time in TV. That's why you got let go. Why play the race card?
First of all, I love the fact that your play the race card is your version of the race card. You literally are so fixated on trying to racialize conversations with me, Piers, that I find it actually quite charming.
You racialize more conversations in your tenure at MSNBC than any host in history.
All right, Mark. All right, Piers. And the bottom line is you take an entire conversation that I had with Mark Lamont Hill and pick the bits that you can racialize because this is your shtick. And I get that this is your shtick.
You racialize everything, Joy. Come on.
I get it. I understand this is your shtick, Piers. And listen, game recognized the game. I get this is your game.
It's not my shtick.
And the bottom line,
it was your shtick.
It is your shtick, and everyone knows that it is. Piers, we understand what it is. And it is so interesting to me that you yourself, as a white European, find that when people of color talk about race, that you believe is racializing conversations. But when people like you fixate on, well, Barack Obama was a black president, why don't you object to that? That is racializing a conversation about the former president of the United States. But you can't put your, and I'm sure you find that charming and funny.
I find it hilarious because you're the one.
That is absolutely hilarious because what she's talking about, if you guys get a chance, just watch this full interview with Piers Morgan. She's talking about when he was comparing the immigration policies because she was calling Donald Trump a fascist because he was deporting only brown and black people. And he pointed out, Piers Morgan pointed out the fact that, well, Obama also did the same exact thing. Obama also deported brown and black people as well. Does that make him a fascist, right? She brought race into it, right, by saying Trump was only deporting brown and black people. Piers didn't bring race into it at all. He was just making a comparison saying, hey, why is it that Trump is a fascist when he's deporting people, but Obama is not a fascist when he's deporting the same people? That's all. That's what he was saying. And then she's going to go back to that conversation that they had, which happened previously in the same interview, to say that he's the one racializing conversations. This woman is insane.
You're the one who said Donald Trump.
You and your friend Donald Trump.
You said Donald Trump is a white fascist.
Are so he is a well. I agree with Mark
when Obama
Milley,
did the same thing,
last time I checked, is
I'm not allowed
black.
to mention his skin color.
I agree with his former chief of staff, who last I checked was not black and said he's fascist. And Mark Milley said he's fascist to the core. Okay. So I happen to agree, and I know this is what it's important to you, with two very white gentlemen about Donald Trump's fascist tendencies.
Okay.
If that makes you sad and uncomfortable, I can't help you, Piers.
No, yes, it made me sad and uncomfortable. I think it makes you a little bit of a hypocrite, but that's different. Now, President Trump reacted to your departure by saying, low-life chairman of Comcast, Brian Roberts, the owner of ratings-challenged NBC and MSNBC, has finally gotten the nerve up to fire one of the least talented people in television, the mentally obnoxious racist Joy Reid, based on her ratings, which were virtually non-existent, should have been canned long ago, along with everyone else who works there. What's your response to that?
It's fascinating to me that you think it's important that I care what Donald Trump says about me. It's a badge of honor. If he dislikes me, then I think I'm doing something right. I have zero respect for Donald Trump, and therefore, if he feels the same way about me, then the feelings are quite mutual, and I'm very, very proud of that and happy with it.
Let's just end with this. Not everyone was upset when you were fired. Plenty of those white conservative men that you like so much seem quite happy. Let's just take a look at this clip.
Joy Reid, probably the nastiest figure on MSNBC. The most left, the most vicious against conservatives and white people and men and all the rest. She has just been canned, fired, kicked to the side of the road. Her show is over. This saddens me a little bit because I did not yet have the opportunity to go on it. I am celebrating that there is no longer a market for her disgusting product. That's what I'm genuinely happy about. There has been a major shift. Her show and shows like her show no longer have value. And that's not just because of Joy Reid's favorite villains, you know, the evil white man or the Christians or the conservatives. It's because, like, no one watches her show.
So, Joy, I've actually got Michael Knowles' waiting in the wings.
Great.
Is there anything you'd like to say to him?
No.
What did you make of his critique of your show?
Well, I mean, the reality is that obviously people watched the show, and obviously that's the reason that the show was on for 4.5, nearly 5 years. So if he didn't like the show, I guess, sorry you didn't enjoy it, but I really am not that interested in his views on it.
Okay, well, we've got Michael there. Michael, anything you want to say to Joy?
Yes, wonderful to be here, Joy. Very nice to meet you. And I guess I would agree with Joy's take. People watched the show in the past tense, and now there's no longer a market for that absolutely vile content. And I think that's good for the culture broadly. And now we can all chat on Piers' show.
Joy?
The reality is, Michael, the content that you and Piers like to trade in is grievance. And the grievance that white Americans have, that they have to deal with.
I'm not American.
Diversity, that they have to deal with.
Joy,
You just said you have a home in Los Angeles, you love
I'm
America.
celebrating.
And by the way, white grievance is very good for your bottom lines. It's very good for your bank accounts. And so having me here to be able to continue to traffic in that is your shtick. That is what you do.
First of all,
That's
Joy,
what you do, Piers.
and
so it's great. And I'm sure you find it delightful and fun to say it. But the reality is, Piers, that is what you all traffic in.
I have to correct you.
Well, first of all, I'm not a white
Joy.
American. I think as my accent may reveal.
Well, I know that you're European.
And I'm
British.
My only grievances are
and secondly, I don't think anyone. Michael, I will let you respond, but I don't think any host in the history of cable news has waged more grievance than Joy Reid. So the idea that you're now hectoring us about feeling aggrieved about things, you spent years being aggrieved about absolutely everything.
Excuse me, but your favorite president, the president who you completely support, is nothing but grievance.
My favorite president was Abraham Lincoln.
His entire campaign was grievance. His entire campaign was grievance. Well, your former boss on The Apprentice,
not Donald
or whatever
Trump.
you want to call him, your friend. The bottom line is that Donald Trump's entire campaign was about grievance. It was about white America feeling.
What does Donald Trump have to do? What does he have to do about this? Like, this ain't nothing to do with Donald Trump. Why does she bring Trump into this? We're talking about you and why your show got canceled and why you're a race baiter. Donald Trump. It's always the go-to. These robots. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Like, come on.
They'd lost their country and they need to take it back. It was about white America feeling that diversity was a threat to their children being able to go to Harvard. Their
and you know what, Joy? In the end,
diversity was and that is the reason that you all glom onto him and use him to further your own bank account.
In the end, most Americans, as you know, most Americans, having voted for him in 2016, and after Trump spent 4 years in the wilderness and we watched the Democrats run the United States of America, people took a look at that in America and then they voted for Trump second time round in bigger numbers, including a record number of Latinos who, last time I checked, were not white. Anyway, Joy Reid, I'm going to leave it with you. Thank you for coming on Uncensored. Next time, I'm sure we can move on from the stuff we've talked about today.
Yeah, so we're going to stop it right there. There you have it, guys. Absolutely entertaining. Well deserved, right? Well deserved, because they're both right. She is a racist. She's a race baiter. That's all that she knows. Joy Reid's political analysis is always centered around race. No matter what the issue is, she's always going to invoke race into it one way or another, right? Which is hilarious because she pretends to be a black woman, right? She pretends to be an FBA, but she's not even an FBA, right? She's an African woman with a blonde hair, appropriating to the fullest extent, right? Appropriating black people and white women, right? Joy Reid. Oh my God, I loved watching this. Hope you got as much entertainment as I did on this video. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Let me know what your opinions are down below. And of course, if you're brand new, consider hitting subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.